Families connected to a disturbing case out of southern Colorado are upset it will not be going to trial after one defendant pleaded guilty today to federal fraud charges. John and Carie Hallford owned Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose and are accused of improperly storing nearly 200 bodies inside of their establishment for years. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon was in court where Carie Hallford changed her plea today, pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Colette, these charges are connected to what prosecutors say was the scheme behind all of this.
The Hallfords, they collected thousands of dollars worth of COVID relief funds and thousands of dollars from the families who believed they were paying for burial or cremation services. In that plea agreement, it says some of those families, they actually got dry concrete mix instead of the remains of their loved ones. And in at least 2 instances, the Hallfords arranged for the wrong body to be delivered and buried to some of those families. Now, despite the details we already know about this case, the families I spoke with, they're disappointed in this guilty plea, saying they wished this would have gone to trial so they could learn everything that happened behind closed doors. A federal courthouse for most of us feels like a mystery.
Here we go again.
But Kelly Scholesser and Christina Page have walked out of these doors too many times.
We've already been at this point once before.
Scholesser's here for her mom, Mary Lou Ehrlich, who was a caregiver.
Mom always handled them with so much dignity and so much compassion and so much respect.
Respect, she says her mother never got when she passed away near the end of 2022.
She laid in the building only for about a year, a lot less time than your son.
Page's son was also taken to Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose after his death in 2019.
My son laid in the corner of an inoperable refrigerator for 4 years with rats and maggots eating his body.
The 2 people allegedly responsible are John and Carie Hallford, who owned the funeral home where almost 200 bodies were found decaying in October of 2023.
They've done a lot of damage, and they continue to do so.
They say that in part because on Monday, Carie changed her plea to guilty in her federal case, admitting to conspiracy to commit wire fraud, a felony.
We all know she's guilty. Her words don't mean anything to me.
Her plea agreement claims she failed to cremate or bury at least 190 bodies, despite collecting more than $130,000 from families for services that were never provided.
It's disgusting what they did.
Her arrest affidavit shows 3 transactions in a bank account connected to her and her husband from the U.S. Treasury, totaling to more than $800,000 of federal COVID relief funding. Investigators say the Hallfords used false information to get that money and then spent every dollar.
We believed that by going to trial, we would be able to hear the evidence and be able to hear what they actually did to us. We still don't know the truth of what they've done to us.
For these 2, the court process hurts.
Ready to be able to move past that and really mourn my mother like she should have been mourned.
And they're ready to find the time to heal. Right now, Carrie's sentencing here in this federal case is set for December 3rd, and there's really a wide range of options that the judge could decide to do as far as sentencing goes in this case. There's no stipulation in that plea agreement saying what exactly the judge has to do. Prosecutors, they're recommending 15 years behind bars, Micah.
And Colette, her husband John already pleaded guilty to the same federal charges and he was sentenced in June. He got those 20 years in prison. How is that possible when prosecutors recommended 15 years?
Well, Micah, that 20-year sentence, that's actually the maximum penalty that charge, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, carries along with it. So in theory, they both have the same judge up here in this federal case. Carie could also get that 20-year sentence handed down when she's sentenced in December. It's also worth noting the 2 have taken plea agreements in their state cases down in Colorado Springs. That's where those abuse of a corpse charges come in. John is scheduled to be sentenced on that case on August 22nd. We're live in Denver. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Okay, so we know so many have been following Colette. Thank you. Now, going in depth, it's safe to say that Colorado has had a turbulent history recently with some of its funeral homes. As Denver 7 has reported, for years, Colorado had some of the least restrictive funeral home laws in the country. You didn't have to be licensed in order to operate one until a law change in May 2024. That followed several cases of abuse, including Return to Nature and a case in Denver, where a funeral home owner pleaded guilty to stashing human remains at a home he rented. Investigators say he even left a 63-year-old woman's body in a hearse for more than a year.